The purpose of this net is to pass Aries-related traffic and items of interest to the Aries group. When checking in, please announce your call sign using phonetics followed by your first name. Before we commence any general check-ins, is there any emergency or priority traffic only? Come now, please. Nothing heard. Are there any general check-ins for the Mississauga Aries net? Please come now with your call sign and name.
Victor Echo 3, Delta Romeo Zulu John.
Alpha 3, Whiskey X-Ray Alpha, Gord.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Kilowatt India, Michael.
Alpha 3, Hotel Echo Sierra, Mark.
Okay, I heard 4 stations in there. I heard VE3HES, VE3TKI, VE3WXA, and top of the list was John, VE3DRZ. Come on in, John.
Brian, and all on frequency. Nothing of any great import to report tonight. We're still hunkered down here, but apparently I am on a list to get a shot for COVID sometime in the next year or so. So we're looking forward to that. Back to you, Brian.
VE3DRZ, VE3XBH. Okay, John. Well, that sounds good. At least you're on the list, and you've heard something back. So sounds like good news there, John. Thanks for checking in. Okay, we'll go to VA3WXA, Gord.
Brian and all on that, nothing there. Just staying hunkered down and turn to get the shot, whenever that may be at my age. Nothing else for the net there, Brian. Back to you.
3WXA, VE3XBH. Okay, Gord, good to hear from you. Doing fine is the repeater. So was John, by the way. John, you were also doing fine into the repeater. And yeah, I guess now it's a matter of waiting till it's our turn. So I guess it's just a little bit of a waiting game now. Okay, Gord, thanks for checking in. Okay, let's go to Michael, VE3TKI. Michael, go ahead.
And everybody else, hope everything's going with everybody. Everything's going okay with everybody. I spent the last day and a half doing the 2-letter VE3 cards. I mailed 60-odd envelopes this afternoon, or got stamps from anyway, and so then all that's over with. And the other thing I did, I uploaded my logbook of the world QSLs, which I hadn't done for years. So 460-odd contacts, I guess, or credits that are coming my way eventually. So I'm just waiting for the logbook of the world system to come back and update my credits. Anyway, not much else new. Nice day today, nice bright day. I like days like that when it's bright and sunny. I don't particularly care for the dark and gloomy ones. So I guess we're just sitting and waiting for what eventually is going to happen vaccine-wise. Looks like it's going to be a while yet, but I still don't think we're going to get shots before September, October. Anyway, we'll see. So back to you, Brian. This is VE3TKI, now clear.
3TKI, VE3XBH. Okay, Michael, getting into the repeater, a little bit of noise in the background, but nothing severe there. And yeah, I'm starting to go through my cards also, so it'll be a couple of days and I'll get everything sent out. And sounds like you've been heavily into the QSL, so I also have to go through my log and do that. I haven't done it for a little while, so Michael, thanks for checking in with us. Okay, with that, let's go to Mark, VA3HES. Go ahead, please, Mark.
Brian and everyone on that. Victor Alpha 3, Hotel Echo Sierra. Not too much to report. Though, if you are in front of the computer, you can check streaming tonight's nets on the VE3MIS YouTube channel. And I guess the one thing I didn't figure out is if I'm going to put a camera in front of my radio, I got to be careful where I put that tripod. I got to stand to the side of my desk now. Hi. Back to you, Brian.
The VA3HES, VE3XPH. Okay, Mark. Well, that sounds good. Sounds great that we're live streaming. I'm going to have to check that out. I am sitting in front of the computer, but I'll have to call up YouTube and take a look. But sounds good. Looking forward to it. Anything else?
Nothing else to report. Back to you, Ryan.
Okay, Mark. Thanks for checking in. A little bit of noise on the repeater, but nothing severe there, and no problem hearing you. Okay, with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Is there anyone else who'd like to check into the Mississauga Aries net? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard, so I guess we'll close the net for this evening. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. This is Victor Echo 3 X-Ray Bravo Hotel, closing the net and returning the repeater to normal use. Thank you all for your participation. Good evening, and 7-3.
VE3MIS repeater. VA3HES, VE3XBH.
VE3XBH, VA3HES.
I got the channel up, so I can see your stream.
Roger, and you should be able to. I goofed. I meant to start the live stream at 8:30, but I figured I could use your net as sort of the guinea pig hi just to make sure my audio levels and everything was working out all right.
What I'm seeing is your waterfall right now.
I really wish this radio had an HDMI out. It'd be a little bit easier, but I think I'm going to use my SDR and then the screen capture from the SDR software for the next one.
when I listen to you on the YouTube feed, there's a little hum in the background, and the audio, it seems a little bit on the low side on the YouTube feed.
Actually using a second radio with my mag mount on the roof of my wife's car far away from the shack, because I didn't want to key down on this radio while I was transmitting. So I'm operating rather in a slightly compromised position, so that probably explains the noise. But is the other station's audio level loud enough, or should I bump it up a bit more?
You're sounding good on the repeater, but it's not terrible. It's definitely it seems to be a little bit low, but there's definitely a little tiny bit of hum in there.
Roger. Well, send the tweet for the next one, but at least I know it works. Aye.
Good start for sure. It's kind of nice to see.
Well, I won't say this is an original idea. I think it's RPAD out in Hamilton has been live streaming his nets, and that's sort of where I got the idea for this from.
I think I had been on one of his nets a couple of times when he was streaming, and also I don't remember who it is, but occasionally the GTA, the Toronto Aries net sometimes gets live streamed occasionally.
Roger. Well, I think I'm gonna make this a regular thing, but like I said, I gotta come up with an easy way to have it ready for every week. Because like I said, this is slightly inconvenient with a tripod right where I want to put my chair.
I could see that. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go, and I just want to let you know that I did get logged in, and I can see it there, so I'll probably keep it up for the net.
Okay, I'll be standing by for the net also. VE3XBH, VA3HES.
HES, VE3XBH will be standing by for the net at 8:30.
VE3MIS.
Echolink TECHLINK conference.
Good evening. This is Victor Alpha 3 Alpha Zulu Alpha. My name is Brian, and I am your controller tonight for the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club Tuesday Night Net. This net is available on the club's VHF repeater and Echolink between 8:30 p.m. and approximately 9:45 p.m. local time here in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Stand by, please. To participate in the net on the VE3MIS VHF repeater, tune 145.430 MHz with a negative 600 kHz offset and a 103.5 Hz tone. To participate on Echolink, connect to the TechLink conference, node number 9229. Stand by, please. If you would like to find out more about the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club, visit our website at www.ve3mis.ca. That's Victor Echo 3 Mike India Sierra Charlie Alpha. Our email address is ve3mis@rac.ca. That's Victor Echo 3 Mike India Sierra @Romeo Alpha Charlie Charlie Alpha. Stand by, please. The purpose of this net is to pass news and views along to members and visitors of the club. It also provides experience to volunteer operators in net and emergency operating procedures. All check-ins are welcome, and we especially invite non-members to join in. Stand by, please. The Mississauga Amateur Radio Club meets virtually via Zoom conferencing software on the second and fourth Thursday of each month. Our meetings emphasize comradeship and learning and are open to guests and visitors. See our website to learn how to join virtual meetings. Non-members who wish to attend should email ve3mis@rac.ca to obtain instructions for virtual admission. Stand by, please. We just have one announcement on the list this evening, and that is that this Thursday there will be a club executive meeting, again through Zoom conferencing software. And if you would like to attend that meeting, you can visit the web page where you'll see a link to contact our President Jeff for some instructions on attending. Also, just a quick note for some nets that are heard on this VHF repeater. The Cross Canada RLP net is usually hooked up every Wednesday between 11 and noon Eastern Time, local time here. That's through RLP 9013, and usually someone will connect it, and it can be heard locally. As well, the Friday night TechNet is often hooked up here on the VE3MIS repeater, and that is between 8 and 10 p.m. local time here in Mississauga on Fridays, and that is through this conference, this Echolink conference node number, or conference room number 9229. Stand by, please. This net will be conducted in two rounds, a check-in round and a 7-3 round. During the check-in round, check-ins will be called in two broad groups of traffic, short-time check-ins and general check-ins. Emergency check-ins will be taken at any time. Sometimes mobile, Echolink, and RF check-ins will be called by themselves to reduce the risk of doubling. Please listen carefully and check in with the group that best matches your circumstances. Also, avoid transmitting more than about 1 minute or so without keying up to prevent system timeouts. We're connected to quite a few machines, I think, here, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Stand by, please. Again, your controller for tonight's net is me, Brian, and my call sign is Victor Alpha 3, Alpha Zulu Alpha. When checking in, please note your call sign using phonetics, followed by your first name. And let's see, we're going to start with some short time check-ins, and we'll look for them on, we'll try RF first. So short time check-ins, if you're out there on RF, that means that you're not able probably to stay for the whole net. If you're out there, this is your time to get in. Come now, please. Short time RF.
This is Zulu Lima 4, November Oscar Romeo Mike. Short time on DMR.
Okay, net control acknowledges there's a digital check-in there. That's okay, and I think I recognize that call sign. I'll take that right now because I think that's a short time check-in. I believe that was ZL4 NORM, and I think that's Norm in New Zealand. So I'm going to pass that to you, pass that to Norm right now, and we'll take your check-in, your short time check-in right now, Norm. So net control to ZL4 NORM.
ORM, you're right. Currently brewery portable here with my DMR radio coming through the new DMR bridge on the Untitled. Some bottling beer. I'll keep it quick, but I will be listening in the background. 7 feet from a beautiful day down in New Zealand here. Catch you later. Back to you, control.
ZL4 NORM, this is VE3MIS today, net control returning. Okay, Norm, good for you on the DMR there. I think there was a little bit of, maybe some packets dropped there, but you got through, and I could hear you. Nice to hear from you, haven't heard from you in a while. And I hope all is well with you in New Zealand. Okay, let's try for some, we'll try our Echolink short time. Echolink short time. If you're out there on Echolink and you want to get in on the first round only, I don't think you'll be able to stay around. Come now, please. Echolink check-ins, come now, please.
H3HJQ, g'day, Brian. VK2DY, Robert.
Okay, net control acknowledges 2 short-time Echolink check-ins, and I heard VK2DY Robert in Australia, and I heard VK3HJQ John in Australia as well. So we'll go to John first. John, hope all is well. Net control to VK3HJQ.
Thanks, Brian. It's 29 degrees outside. Wow-wee. Warming up. Third day of autumn over here in Australia, 12:38 p.m. And yeah, they're rolling out the vaccines. Although they reckon they're going to have everybody done by October, but to have that, they've got to have 200,000 shots a day, and they're only up to 30,000 a day. So it looks like they're not going to do the whole country by October unless they extract a digit and start giving people more shots. What else to report? Yeah, beautiful day down here. Yeah, Norm was coming in through our DMR link. It's been there for a while, actually, and we haven't connected it up. And Norm said, oh, why don't you connect it up and I can use my DMR radio from the brewery. The only problem is we measured it yesterday, and it's about 7.2 seconds delay before Norm gets the audio back. I've got no idea why. Dave did some tests yesterday, and it's about second and a half, so I don't think Norm's pedaling hard enough down there in ZL or what the story is. Anyway, Brian, thanks. Back to net. I don't know if I'll be around for the second round. Give me a yell anyway. Just doing stuff here in the background. Back to net control from VK3HJQ. John in sunny downtown Australia. VK3HJQ, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, John, very good to hear from you. Yeah, it sounds like I think the vaccine situation is about the same here in
in Ontario. And yeah, the rollout is probably going to occupy quite a few months. I think here they're talking about September, but who knows with all the complications I'm sure that will arise. Yeah, probably the fall. It'll be fall by the time everyone has one. So yeah, we're kind of in the same situation. There's a parallel track here, except for the 29-degree part. You've got 29 degrees Celsius. We definitely did not have 29 degrees Celsius here over the last few days. I was talking to someone earlier this afternoon, actually, who told me that their son was out snowboarding, and they were at the top of a hill, and the temperature was minus 31. And the wind was so bad that they weren't allowed to come down the hill. This is a little ski hill. It's not too far from where I am. Anyway, good to hear from you. We'll keep on, and let's give you a call on the second go-to, just in case you're there. Let's go to Robert, net control to VK2-2DY.
Good morning, good afternoon, 12:41 p.m. It's Robert, Victor Kilo 2, Delta Yankee, in Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, but all part of the urban sprawl that is Sydney. Well, 21.6 degrees here Celsius, and it sounds, traffic, I haven't looked outside, but it sounds like there's a bit of water on the road, which means it's probably rained just a little bit. I'm sitting in my ham shack, which is in my garage, so that I can't, no windows. Anyway, yeah, so we've gone now 38 days, I think, in New South Wales without a new case of COVID. So we're doing okay as the shots are rolled out. There's only about 100 places you can get a shot at this point. They're all district hospitals. No clinics or anything else. That'll come a little bit later as the supply gets more. Our supply is very small at this point because domestic production is still ramping up. So all of ours have come from overseas, I think from Belgium. And so when the domestic supply gets up and running, as it should be within the next week or two, I think you'll start seeing GPs and all sorts of places giving vaccinations. But at this point, it's just 100 hospitals spread across Australia, which is as big as Canada. Or not quite as big as Canada, but as big as continental United States. So not very many places. Thank you very much for taking my check-in. VK2DY, back to net.
VK2DY, VA3A today, net controller training. Okay, Robert, good to hear from you. Yeah, that sounds like, again, it's a sort of a parallel track to what's happening here. I guess, yes, that's good. At least there's some domestic production in Australia. It just takes a while to kind of get the production line up to capacity. Same thing here. There's domestic production here, but it'll be a while before there's any kind of useful amount coming out of the assembly line. I guess I can't remember whether it's in Montreal or whether it's in the prairies, but anyway, yeah, so we're on parallel tracks. The Americans have lots. I know their factories. They have a production facility in Michigan, quite a large one. They seem to have a lot of stuff coming off the assembly line. Anyway, but at least we're on the road there, so things will probably get better. Okay, well, let's try this. Let's go to RF General Check-ins. So if you're out there on RF and you'd like to check in to the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club 2-meter net, come now, please, with your call sign spelled phonetically, followed by your first name.
Zulu, Gary, Bree, Whiskey, Mike, John.
Brian, Victor, Echo 3, George, Baker, Charlie. Name is Bruce.
Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Bravo Hotel, Brian.
Victor Alpha 3, Tango Juliet Victor Tyler.
Okay, Net Control acknowledges 4 check-ins, and 3 were very readable from my end. The very first one was not, so I'm going to have to, I might call for that one again with my RF headset on here. But this is what I heard from most recent to least recent. We heard VA3TJV, and I heard VE3XBH. I heard VE3GBC, and just prior to VE3GBC, I heard a call sign I couldn't make out. And I'm going to just take a real quick standby here. Net Control standing by.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, VA3WM, John.
Net Control is back. Just testing from another radio here. Not having much luck. That one, I don't think. Okay, so I did hear a call sign before VE3GBC. It was on RF, and I couldn't make out the audio. So there wasn't noise or anything. It's just the audio level was extremely low. So that very first check-in, I want you to give it a try again, and I'll really listen hard. I'm on the echo link side here, so it may have to. I'll make a special effort to listen. But come again, the very first call sign just before VE3GBC.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Mike, VA3WM, John.
Okay, Net Control returning, and I heard the VA3, Victor Alpha 3. And I heard an M in there. Your audio was a little bit better. I turned up my volume here too. And you may have had a tiny bit of trouble holding the repeater this time. I think maybe I didn't hear it the first time, but you may have, your signal may have let go there. You may be on the low power, maybe handheld, 5 watts or so. I'm wondering if it's Murray. It kind of sounds like Murray. But give it one more go, and let's see if I can get that call sign. I'll come again.
I'm going to jump in and say it was VA3 Whiskey Mike John from Niagara on the Lake.
That's a Roger, Jim. Thank you.
Okay, actually, Jim, I did hear an M there. I wondered too. I kind of wondered if I heard a whiskey too. And maybe it was John, VA3WM. Yeah, you might be right there. So let's try it. Let's pass it over to John and give it a try, John. You may have to turn off your power possibly, but let's give it a try. Net Control to VA3WM.
Okay, Scotty, minute all she's got, VA3WM. I'm going to switch to Echo. Carry on, VA3WM.
Okay, Roger. So that was VA3WM, and he's going to switch, John's going to switch over to Echolink, and we'll come back to him. That's fine. That's okay, John. We'll go to VE3GBC. Net Control to VE3GBC. Over to you.
Hi, good evening, Brian. Name is Bruce, Bravo Radio Uniform Charlie Echo. And I'm happy that you can actually hear me. There's so much dust on this radio. I'm getting back into this wonderful hobby after many years of absence. I did join in the club Zoom meeting last week, which was good, and I wanted to drop in tonight to say hello.
VE3GBC, VA3A today, Net Control returning. Okay, Bruce, well, we're happy to have you. Very glad to have you here on the net, and we're glad to hear you're getting the dust off your radio. You're coming back into radio. Excellent. It's lots of fun. Certainly, there's all sorts of opportunities to do interesting things, and from digital HF and VHF, the whole deal. So good for you for coming back. Let's see. Let's try Brian, VE3XBH. Brian, come on in. Brian, over to you.
VA3AZA, VE3XBH. Good evening, Brian, and everyone on net. Well, not an awful lot's going on here. We're kind of waiting to find out about vaccines and that sort of thing, pretty much like everybody else is. But other than that, not really too much to report. Not too bad a day today. A little less windy than the day before, but but there you go. It's just the beginning of March, so we've still got a little bit of time before it gets really warm. Anyways, Brian, I'll send it back to you, and I'll be around for the second round. VA3 AZA, this is VE3XBH.
VE3XBH, VA3AZA, that control return. Okay, Brian, good to hear from you. And I don't know if I mentioned to you last time we were speaking, I was experimenting with an NVIS antenna, and today I just turned on the radio on after work, and I managed to have a QSO with a ham in Skokie, Illinois, and it was great. It was nice. It wasn't even full power, and the radio or the antenna is quite a compromise. It's not very high off the ground, and it's not really very long, but seemed to get through and had the little QSO. It was nice. But talking to Jim actually about it earlier this afternoon, and funny thing is you never quite know what the propagation mode is. I mean, the antenna is set up for NVIS, but whether there was any local, whether that's the way that the signal got there or not, I don't know. But anyway, I'll pass it over to you. Have you ever tried local HF on your system? I know you've got an inverted V of net control to VE3XBH.
Well, Brian, I have sort of, not really pursued it that much. I have done some local. Just really kind of depends upon what the conditions are. It seems it's not terribly predictable, but I'm not really set up for that. So just with the inverted V, and occasionally I do get local, but it, like I say, it just kind of depends upon the day and the time, I guess. So nothing any consistent, shall I say. Back to you, VA3AZA, VE3XBH.
VE3XBH, VA3AZA, net control return. Okay, right. Yeah, that's I know, because yours is set up like you got the right height there on your at the apex, and it's a different distance to the ground, so you're probably set up for you have a lower radiation angle. And kind of interesting with these NVIS antennas. We'll have to try it sometime, but if I were contacting you, you would probably hear me because of the pattern, radiation pattern, but you might not be able to talk to me, even though I'm only about 3 kilometers away from you. I don't know. But anyway, we'll have to try it sometime. Okay, Brian, excellent. Good to hear from you. And let's go now to, I think it was Tyler, was the last time I listed here. VA3TJV. Tyler, come on in. Over to you.
Evening, Net Control. This is VA3TJV. I just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. That's about all I got over here. VA3TJV.
VA3TJV, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, yeah, we're all holding together here, Tyler, and survived another week of the pandemic. But yeah, other than that, not too many calamities, I guess. Most people sound like they've been doing pretty well. And you know what? I have a feeling I can hear a little bit of crackling on your signal, but I've heard it on a few RF contacts here. I wonder if it's more it could be something else, something to do with the weather. We got ice on our antenna again. But anyway, you're pretty good. There's a little bit of noise, but I don't know whether it's originating, if it's due to your distance, or it could be due to some ice on our antenna. But you sound pretty good. You're going to be around for a second go. Net control to VA3TJV.
Control, VA3TJV returning. I should be around for a second round, and yeah, I mean, I'm just on my HD, and I'm not broadcasting from upstairs, so I don't have the best line of sight out to the repeater. So you know, those are definitely playing against me, but you know, hopefully getting enough out there that still hitting it. So yeah, see you on second round, VA3TJV.
VA3TJV, VA3AZA. Okay, Tyler. Yeah, well, you're not doing too badly. Not badly at all. I could definitely hear your audio. So it's a few crackles here and there, but it's pretty good. Okay, so that brings me down to the end of that RF list of check-ins. Let's try some general check-ins from Echolink at this point. And if you're out there on Echolink and you would like to join us in the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club's 2-meter Tuesday night net, come now please with your call sign spelled phonetically, followed by your first name.
My first name is Jim. I'm Victor Echo 3 Juliet India Whiskey. Good evening from VE3JIW.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Yankee Kevin. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Yankee Kevin.
Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey Mike on Echolink. John.
Okay, Net Control acknowledges 1, 2, 3 Echolink check-ins, and from most recent to least recent, we have VA3WM John, and we have VA3KKY Kevin, and we have VE3JIW Jim. And we'll go to Jim first, and hope all is well with you, Jim. Good to hear you. Net Control to VE3JIW.
Good evening. I still haven't figured out how to stop this iPad. I have to actually back out of the room when I finish talking. But good evening, John. Your signal was readable. RF through the Echolink. I could hear you, John. I could make out your call. And a shout out to some of the people who may be listening via YouTube who cannot key up and say hi. But one of the great members of the group has organized a simulcast of the Mississauga Radio Net over YouTube. And I don't know if there's an email address that could be answered during the net that would allow someone who might be listening on YouTube and be radio challenged to shout out their comments. VE3 Juliet India Whiskey at iCloud, either iMessage or email, could carry your comments. And no, Brian, appreciate quick texting Kiso about noise tonight, and I'll say good luck with it. Back to net. I will be around for the second round. Thank you.
VE3JW, VA3A today, Net Control returning. Okay, Jim, thank you for reminding us here of our simulcast too. I've got a note from Mark, VA3HES, who has coordinated that for us. And yeah, so the net tonight is actually being simulcasted on the VE3MIS YouTube page, and it's live streamed, the simulcast. So there probably are a few people who are listening through that means outside of Echolink or RF. And Mark set that up, VA3HES. Thought we'd give that a try, a little experiment tonight, to kind of get the picture of our net out to people who might be using YouTube or be using social media in general. I guess. Well, this tonight is YouTube. So a big shout out to him for organizing that. And that's the VE3MIS YouTube page. That's where you can hear the simulcast. Okay, just a quick standby here from Net Control. And Net Control has returned. Okay, Jim, well, thank you very much. We got you down here for a second go. And let's go now to Kevin, VA3KKY. Kevin, I hope all is well with you, and you're surviving this little cold snap here. So we'll pass it to you. Net Control to VA3KKY.
Well, I'll accept. The only difference with that is a lot of it is just basically just wait for a day or two, and it's such a drastic change because on Saturday and Sunday afternoon, you know, they were relatively nice, right? Like Sunday afternoon, it was close to 7 degrees, almost what you'd expect in BC, right? Because they're usually 10 degrees or so more than us. And then all of a sudden it's back to, you know, the way it was, minus temperature like tonight, for instance. So I don't know. It just really depends when you decide to wake up, I guess. But we're surviving okay. Lockdown isn't vastly affecting me. I mean, I like to literally cool out at home anyways during these times. So that's what I would be doing with or without who or what is open or whatever. But we'll certainly find out about it. At least there's other places that's taking different initiatives Canada wouldn't know anything about, right? Like Texas. I hear they're laxing the mask thing, and people are saying that that's because of their, mess up during freezing crisis before. So, that's probably what's going on there, like, and then there's the governor in California is supposed to be laxing things, and people are annoyed with him. So, but Ontario is keeping it the way they're keeping it, and keeping it safe, or their interpretation of it anyway. I'll be here, and I'll turn it back to you. I just don't know sometimes when you call the net, you say Echolink short time. I'm not short time. So you might say Echolink and short time, and then I might get in sooner. But then I actually wait, because I can. Plain and simple. So back to you, VA3KKY.
VA3KKY, VA3AZA, Net Control returning. Okay, Kevin, good to hear from you. Yeah, you're right about the oscillations there in the weather. It's just, like you say, at this time of the year, you just wait another day or so when the temperatures will go up. And I think they're supposed to get kind of warm within the next couple of days. But, I think there's some weariness setting in over the pandemic, too. I know the Europeans they're kind of tired of lockdown, and they're questioning whether it does any good anyway. But, we're kind of holding on with that approach here. Maybe some benefit to that. Yeah, the short time. Yeah, we do we have so many categories here for check-ins. We go short time, and we divide that up into RF and Echolink, and then regular check-ins, RF and Echolink. So, but we'll take people, and you can certainly check in short time on Echolink, and if you're around for the second go, we'll call you there too. Yeah, if you're, if you need to get up to the front of the list there, that's fine. And anyway, good to hear from you, and we'll keep you on the list here, give you a call on the second go as well. And that brings me down to VA3WM and John. John came over from RF, and now he's on Echolink. Sounds really good, John. We'll pass it over to you. Net Control to VA3WM.
VA3AZA and the Mississauga Net. This is John, VA3WM. Good evening, everyone. And I'm watching, it looks like probably a 9700 ICOM radio, maybe not, on the YouTube channel. So it's pretty cool. There's a delay, but that's okay. I think it's a cool thing to be showing off. 144.830. And my goodness, full scale on the S units. Well, almost full scale. But hope everybody is getting along well. Everything is fine here in Niagara. The snow is slowly disappearing, and we still have a good bunch of it in our front yard because we face north. But backyard is pretty much clear. So I'll pass it back to you, Brian. VA3AZA from VA3WM.
Oh, VA3WM, VA3AZA, next short training. Okay, John, yeah, it looks like we're getting kind of the end of winter. We've got a few patches here and there where I am too, and you know, the snow's all dirty. So I joke with my kids I have to go and clean the snow, so it's all gray and muddy. But yeah, kind of getting towards the end of it here. I remember, I guess it was this time, no, it was earlier than this, the Niagara Club had a Hamfest. Was it, I guess your Hamfest is in Park Club's Hamfest. It must be the first one, actually, of the season, and I think it was in February last year, if I remember correctly. Cause I think I went to it and I saw you, and I thought, oh, gee, this is great. You got all sorts of, I mean, anything you wanted to buy, you could get. It was a great place to pick up little bits and pieces of things, or big things too. If you wanted to buy whole radios, that was there as well. I think Radio World was there for retailing, and then other people were selling stuff they had. I was just thinking about that the other day, but that was February, wasn't it? And February, like February, second week of February, or thereabouts last year. Over to you, Net Control to VA3WM.
The N-Park big event, Brian, is the first Saturday in February, when we can have it. And we were actually planning on having an outdoor flea market in May, and we just received notice that not going to happen. The Welland Fairgrounds are not going to host us, and oh well, we're just going to have to figure out something else. I don't know, but the vaccines have started here, and quite efficient operations in a sportsplex. So I think from, you know, if anything can look good on COVID, the vaccine process, I think, is something that can look good. Anyways, we'll pass it back to you. I'll be here for the second round. VA3AZA, VA3WM.
Oh, VA3WM, VA3AZA, Net Control returning. Okay, John, yeah, I guess I was approximately right. Beginning of February for the NPERC big event. And, well, yeah, and I guess, so that's been suspended, and I haven't heard conclusively what the story is with Mark. I think it's called off as well. I know it is canceled, I think. But anyway, there's an executive meeting this week. It's got to be because we're so close to, normally it's about this time of year, so that was suspended, and who knows what will happen with these things. I suppose once everyone's got enough immunity, then we can kind of go back to doing them, but don't think it's going to be this spring, that's for sure. Okay, well, we'll keep you on the list for a second go, and that brings me to the end of my list. Let's try for some VE3MIS RF check-ins. We'll see if there are any RF check-ins, and then we'll make another call for Echo, and they can go back to the top of the list. So if you're on RF and you'd like to check in, come now, please, to the call sign spelled phonetically, followed by first name.
Hi, Brian. This is Phil. Victor Alpha 3, Quebec Whiskey Echo, checking in. Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary.
Victor Alpha 3, Hotel Echo Sierra, Mark. Victor Alpha 3, Echo Lima Echo, Peter.
Okay, lots of check-ins there. There was one check-in that I only got half of, and we'll call for that one again. But what I heard was this, from most recent to least recent. I heard BA3ELE, and that was Peter. I heard BA3HES, and that is Mark. Prior to Mark was a call sign I got half of. I think it was a VA3, and I didn't get the rest, so we'll call for that again in a second. And then at the very top, I heard VA3QWE, Quebec Whiskey Echo, and that's Phil. So if for the call sign that I didn't quite hear, let's try it one more time, and we'll see if I can catch it. Come again, that call sign is VA3. I know the first three letters of it. Come again if I didn't give you a confirmation in that little list there.
Alpha 3 Kilo Delta Yankee.
Okay, that is Kevin, VA3KDY, and gotcha that time, Kevin. So we got you there on the list. We'll go to the top of the list, and that's Bill, VA3QWE. Bill, come on in. Over to you.
Hi, Brian. This is Phil. Thank you for welcoming me to this net. I'm new at the ham radio hobby. I got my new handheld radio a week or two ago, and this is my first time calling into the net. I've been listening to the last hour, and it's a very interesting conversation. And me too, I've been
amateur.
for a year. I've been working away, try to get outside to exercise every day, but it's been a long year.
VA3QWE, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, Bo, we can hear you in there. There's a little bit of scratchiness. Your audio is a little bit on the low side, and there's a little bit of scratchiness. So I didn't quite make out everything you said, but I did hear that you were on an HT, and yeah, sometimes that's going to be, if you're far enough away and you have a few obstructions between yourself and the repeater, that's always going to be a bit of a challenge. But we definitely got you, definitely heard you in there, and glad you're able to join us. We're on Tuesday nights, of course, here every Tuesday night, running from 8:30 local time until about 9:45 or thereabouts. And it's good that you're able to make it in. We're going in 2 rounds here, and we'll keep you on the list for a second go. And maybe your orientation to the repeater will be a little bit better. You'll be able to hold that when you're communicating. You'll be able to hold the repeater a little bit better. Okay, let's go down to VA3KDY, and that's Kevin. Kevin, I hope all is well with you. Over to VA3KDY.
Very good, Brian. VA3KDY, back to you. Stopping in to say hello, as I like to try to do always, and nothing to add, just a check-in, Brian. VA3KDY, back to that.
VA3KDY, VA3AZA, net control returning. Kevin, always good to hear from you, and good to get your check-in, and I hope all is well. We all seem to be surviving here, so we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hopefully it continues. Hope our good luck continues, but good to hear from you. And we'll see here. We'll go to the next call sign. I see a little message here. I may not have heard a couple call signs, so we'll be making another call out for our app at the end of this list in case you were trying to get in and I missed you. But let's go to Mark now. Mark, you're the man with the YouTube channel under control. Hope all is well with you. Net control to VA3HES.
VA3AZA, VA3HES. Good evening, everyone, from YouTube Master Control here in Mississauga. Yes, as GIW and Brian has mentioned, we are live streaming tonight's net on our VE3MIS YouTube page. So it's a great opportunity to either catch up on a net you may have missed, check your reception and audio quality into the repeater, and we also see it as a great learning tool for our new hams to understand the ebb and flow of a net. It gives us also a bit of a record what we did. Anyways, I hope everybody will take the opportunity to check it out and enjoy it. And this is a side note I'm going to drop for a second. I start the stream just before our 8 o'clock Aries net, and the lull in time after the Aries net and before the regular VHF net is a great time if you want to maybe check out a new microphone or some settings you may have changed on your radio, because you can use that dead time while we're still transmitting to transmit and go back and listen to yourself. That's all from here, Brian. Back to you.
VA3HES and VA3AZA net control returning. Okay, Mark, well, thank you very much for setting that up. That's kind of an interesting experiment. And I was trying to get myself over there. I've got a couple of things here. I'm getting got my Echolink window here, and I'm kind of flipping around. I didn't quite get to it. But is that what when John said he saw a 9700, a picture of a 9700? Is that what he was referring to? So that on that Echolink on that YouTube channel, you can see the radio, and of course I guess you can hear the audio. But is that what the 9700 is that what you're using there, a 9700? Over to you.
VA3AZA, VA3HES. I'm actually using my Yaesu 991 Alpha as the receive radio for tonight, and I'm actually transmitting off of my Kenwood 710 with a mag mount thrown on my wife's car. Because if I used the 991 to transmit every time I talk, no one would hear me, because for some reason there's no monitor function in FM mode on this radio. A couple quirks, but yes, it is indeed a Yaesu FT991A. And just as an aside, the chat window is open, so anybody watching on YouTube that has a question or a comment, please go ahead and drop it in the chat window. I'm monitoring that. And there is right now an approximate, call it about a 60-second delay between what you hear on the air and what you'll hear on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't have the greatest internet service here at home, and the low latency settings in YouTube don't quite want to play well or play nice. Back to you, Brian.
VA3HES, VA3AZA, net control training. Okay, Mark, very, very interesting. Oh, okay, it says a 991. And interesting, too, about the latency. I just got a little notice here that a Kalen might be listening via YouTube, and I guess he joined, he's someone who joined Mark after a basic class. And anyway, if he's listening on YouTube, we're just giving him a little shout there. Just to let him know that that we know he's out there, and that's good. Let's see. Okay, thank you, Mark. We'll keep you on the list here for a second go, and that's great. That's kind of a fun experiment, isn't it? Let's go down to Peter, VA3ELE, and Peter, hope all is well with you. Net control to VA3ELE.
Good evening, everyone.
I'll recheck if it's possible after
just made it in time back to the radio as I'm actually cleaning the shack. There's just too much junk laying around here, and too many projects on the go, and never ever any of them get finished up. Just more started, so it's time to finally clean things up. I guess we'll call it early spring cleaning. Other than that, what else is there? This Friday night, 8 p.m., we have the UHF for 70 centimeter sideband CW activity night on 432.100. Sideband or CW, whatever you got. Doesn't matter if you're vertical or horizontal, somebody will hear you out there. So maybe you guys can join us in. I'm not sure who's going to be running it this week. Maybe myself, maybe Mark, maybe David. We have yet to figure that part out. So we'll see later on, and we'll announce on the email reflector. Back to you, Net Control VA3ELE.
VA3ELE, VA3AZA net control returning, and VE3JIW, I did get your recheck. We'll come back to you here in a second. Okay, Peter, sounds good. Yeah, I saw the notices about the Friday night, the UHF stuff, and so we could do that phone on SSB as well, or was it just CW? I guess it was phone on SSB, and that's just like just sort of local SSB chat, I guess. And I guess anyone can participate. Is that right? Over to you.
Roger. Anyone with sideband or CW can join in. And so far, the best one we've had check in was K04 Yankee Charlie, or K04 Yankee Charlie from FM Fox Mike 17 down in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, for a whopping 669 kilometers on CW, and just happened to have an airplane flying by at the right time in the path, and we're able to hear each other.
VE3MIS repeater.
VA3ELE, VA3AZA, net control training. Wow, Peter, that's amazing. So that's a little bit of airplane propagation, I guess. That's really neat. I know I have an extremely low power radio that would transmit SSB in the UHF. It would only be about 5 watts. I don't know how successful I would be with it, but I guess at the very least I can kind of listen around at that time too. Anyway, that's really neat. I'm glad you reported that. That's quite an interesting kind of propagation there, airplane propagation. You never know. There's so much air traffic. Well, actually now I guess there's not as much as there used to be because of the drop in tourism. But that counts. Airplane is good as ionospheric, I guess. It gets the message across. And thank you very much for bringing us those details. Okay, let's go to VE3JW. I think Jim wanted to come in here again. Net control over to VE3JW.
Well, thank you. I just want to say that I saw the email to the Yahoo groups, and you guys think that all the people who join up the club and go gung-ho into Basil's, get your amateur radio license, they don't get on the Yahoo groups right away. Now, I saw the info about the YouTube channel, and I threw it to the one gentleman who I told him about the virtues and the value of the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club, and he's a smart guy, and he's less than 40 years old, which we need. Anyway, Akalan, we were working at a job site, and he showed me some pictures of stuff he's working on, and I said to him, you need amateur radio in your life, man. And a couple of weeks later, he tells me he's in the basic club. When you put out a message to the Yahoo groups about something valuable for people to participate in, I think you're missing a lot of the people who join up through Basil because they're super slow to register to the Yahoo groups. So if you're going to throw something like join into our Tuesday Night Net via YouTube, get Basil to copy the message to all his members, because I think we're missing a tremendous amount of brain power, because people aren't connected to every part of the social network of the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club. Just thought I'd throw that in, that not every member of the new classes are following our Yahoo groups. Anyway, back to net. I'll be around through the duration of the net. But just let's try and remember our new members and get Basil to reach out to them personally.
VE3JW, VA3AZA, net control training. Yeah, just that's an excellent point there, Jim. That sometimes people don't hear about all the interesting activities because, as you say, they're not on the they might not be on the mailing list, and they haven't configured their phone to pick up the mail. So you should kind of look for a kind of a redundant channel, so to speak, for the information, and that's the place to do it, in the basic class. So yeah, that's a good point. And I also see, I guess John, I can see in the comment box here that John is asking about the John VK3 HJQ is asking about a link for the YouTube channel. I don't know if there's someone out there with their Echolink application open that can copy it in. I've got it open, but I've got a lot of windows here on my screen. I'm afraid of clonking my Echolink windows. So if there's anyone who could paste that address into the comments, that would be good. And John could maybe just hit the link and visit it. VK3HJQ. Okay, also, I'm going to make a little call here for anyone else who might be on RF. We'll do one more try here for RF before we return to Echolink. If you're on RF, I may have missed you. If you'd like to join the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club 2-meter net, come now please with your call sign, spelled phonetically, followed by first name, RF only.
Golf Delta Zulu.
Okay, net control acknowledges there was someone out there, and the only letter I got in your call sign was a Zulu, a ZZZ. So let's maybe we'll give it one more try. The person who just tried to check in, give it another go, and we'll see if I can catch it.
Okay, Brian, let's give this a try. This is Victor Alpha 3, Golf Delta Zulu, Gary.
Okay, that's okay. Gotcha that time, Gary. Sorry. Yeah, I got you. You were the first time, maybe just a little quieter. I had my earphone on improperly. Anyway, good to hear from you. We're glad you made it in here. I thought I saw you on Echolink there for a little bit. I thought you were on Echolink, but you came across on the RF. That is great, and I shall pass it over to you. And I hope all is well. Net control to VE3 GDZ.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's Gary, VA3 Golf Delta Zulu from Toronto. Quite a net tonight there, Brian. You're going to go through the first round. It's going to take up the full amount of time, I can tell, that's for sure. It was interesting to see some of the nets connect in, like right at 8:30 after the mini Tonka net. I don't really know where that is. I think it's Minnesota. The ham group came in and brought a whole bunch of people with them, and then the Dewdrop guys came in a bit later, about 15-20 minutes later. It was great to have them in there. Great to hear from Robert about how well it's going in Australia. I wondered how that first fellow got in on DMR. Was it through one of the Australian links? It would be interesting to have DMR as a way in. And I've been following it on the YouTube channel. Mark was coming in quite low, but he explained, a little bit staticky, but he explained he was on a different antenna and different radio, so he wouldn't muck up the signal. Everybody else who's coming in, including me right now, is like plus 60 dB. Just let it drop for a sec. I'll let you get on with things. Yeah, the spring weather up and down. We were watching people toboggan, I guess, about a week ago, but this past weekend it got mild. We went out to one of the local parks and took my son's dog for a walk. It was a white dog going in and a brown dog going out. Hi. Anyways, maybe next week there'll be some spring skiing up north. Still a little bit nervous about that, but my skiing's been going downhill for years anyway. Anyways, I'll pass it back to you. That's it for me tonight. It's been a great net. Keep up the good work, and it's fun to see it on YouTube as well. This is VA3 Golf Delta Zulu, Gary, west end of Toronto.
VA3GZ, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, Gary, very, very good to hear from you. Yeah, it sounded pretty good coming in on RF, and so I took a quick look at the YouTube channel. I copied the URL into my browser here and just took a quick look at it. Of course, I started to get audio as I was listening to Echolink, so I hit the pause button there, and yeah, I can see. I think you're in there too. I saw some messages from you, and I could see messages from other people, Lawrence, I think, and yeah, that is really neat. I'm quite fascinated by that. I have to admit, I listen to, not that knowledgeable in the YouTube channels and all that sort of stuff. Of course, I use YouTube like most people, but not really an expert in setting up channels and that kind of thing. But from what I could see, it looks really neat, and there are some people who were able to participate that way. So very, very interesting. Okay, well, Gary, good to hear from you. Excellent hearing from you this week, and I think that brings me to the end of my RF list. So I'm going to make a call for anyone else on Accolink. If you're out there on Accolink and you'd like to join us, come now, please, with your call sign spelled phonetically, followed by your first name.
Net control, please copy Victor Kilo 6, Bravo, Quebec, Quebec, Reg, Western Australia. Good morning.
VK6, BQQ, Reg, hope all is well with you. Good to hear you this evening. And I was thinking about you today. When I was driving home today from work, there was someone who had on the back window of their pickup truck, they had this mural. It was quite neat, and it's a picture of an airplane. It looked like a Cessna 172, and it was kind of flying around the mountains. And there was a little slogan above it that says, "Sometimes those who are wandering are not lost." And I think that fellow was a pilot, and he liked to kind of fly around and see the mountains and enjoy the view from above in an aircraft like that. Anyway, we'll pass it over to you. Net control over to VK6 BQQ.
VE3AZA in the group, BK6 BQQ. Fascinating. Well, our flying pig net's getting some publicity, that's for sure. We got a busy weekend coming up. The 6th here is going to be Saturday morning, back to Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. So we'll do our regular net, then we got a special little thing on the go Sunday. We'll be hooking up the networks, and it'll be open day at the Air Australia International. This gentleman that owns it is ex-Navy, in from Texas. He's been here quite a while. Invited me over. I was just over there this morning to check out the land system, make sure Echolink worked and all that good stuff. So we'll be over broadcasting that, and I believe Channel 7 News is going to be sending someone over too. So it's going to be a busy weekend coming up. And of course, on the 8th, the old man's getting a little older, so we'll have quite a weekend. Back to net, VA3AZA. Good to hear everybody in here. VK6 BQQ.
VK6, BQQ, VA3AZA net control returning. Okay, Reg, sounds great, and I hope, on Friday, of course, we got the TechNet on Friday. For those who are listening in the Mississauga area, and here in basically Toronto area, Greater Toronto, it's 8 p.m. To 10 p.m. local time. Of course, the actual local time of your net is the TechNet depends on where you are. For you, I know it's in the morning because you're halfway around the world relative to us. So yeah, I hope you promote that too on Friday, and then on Sunday you've got another event there. So yeah, you're kind of busy there. Okay, sounds good. And let's see, that was Reg on Aqualink. Let's see, let's make one more call on Aqualink, see if anyone's there. And if not, we'll go to the top of the list here and do a 7-3 round. So if you're out there on Aqualink, come now, please.
VA2 XMX.
Okay, net control acknowledges VA2 XMX, I believe it was. And I didn't get the name, you can give me your name, but welcome to Mississauga Amateur Radio Club 2-meter net. We'll pass it over to you. Net control to VA2 XMX.
Good evening, everybody. Peter here from Montreal. Call sign again is Victor Alpha 2 X-ray, Mike X-ray. I'm just doing some work here on the PCA. I figured I'd fire up the Echolink line and just see who's on the new drop-in. I figured I'd just come in and say hello. Nothing much else to say. Back to net.
Of the VA2 XMS, this is VA3AZA, net control returning. Well, you're very welcome to join us. We're here every Tuesday night, and you found us, I guess, you found us through your application. That's fantastic. Glad you're able to check in, and we're always happy to take people's check-ins. And that's okay. You're over in Montreal, but we had some Montreal weather here yesterday. I know Montreal is a little bit cooler sometimes than Greater Toronto. But yesterday we were in competition with the Montreal winter, but not for very long. The Montreal winter is sort of cooler, cold for a longer period of time, but every once in a while, we get an episode of it here. Okay, well, let's see. Let's take her back to the top of the list, and we'll go through all the check-ins we've got and see who's here for 7-3 rent. I didn't keep a real careful tally of who wouldn't be here for 7-3 rent. I got a couple people I don't think will be here, but I'm going to go through everything I've got. And we'll say our 7-3s. So up the top of the list, I don't think Norm is there. So we'll go right to John. VK3HJQ. I don't see him on the list here, but I'm going to give him a call anyway. He might be on one of the conferences. VK3HJQ, if you're there, come on in for a 7-3 round.
Brian, I was just listening on the YouTube link there. Thanks for placing that in the screen. Boy, there's about, what did I measure it? 28 seconds delay from when Reggie Boy started talking until it came out on YouTube. I was waiting and waiting. I thought, where is he? Oh, boy. That's excellent. Very good, whoever's set that up. Just having some lunch. My wife's gone down to buy a BBQ, not a BQQ, but a BBQ. Barbecue chook, so we're having that for a lunch with some salad. So quite a warm day down here. It's still up in the, I think it was 30 or 28 or something. Anyway, I haven't checked the outside, but it's quite warm. Thanks, Brian, for running the net. And yeah, it's a bit confusing trying to listen to YouTube with the 28-second delay. And then what you're saying, that didn't make sense. Back to net. Thanks, Brian, for Catch Rates JQ.
VK3HJQ, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, John, yeah, that's definitely, because, I got even between I got the Aqualink headset here, and then I got the HF headset, or the VHF headset, and there's a delay there, too. Although sometimes it's not very big, and then you start with the third thing, and by that time I'm just spinning around circles, but I did go over and look at it. It's really neat. Yeah, I'm really glad Mark hooked that up for us. And by the way, I did see there was just in the comments VE3LFH, Dave from Chatham, Ontario, put a little comment in there. I'm from Chatham originally, Dave. I'm in Mississauga now, but glad you're able to put a comment in there. And maybe you can join us if you get your mic, your transmitter for Aqualink hooked up. You're more than welcome to join this net as well. Okay, let's see. Let's try Robert, VK2DY. Robert, if you're still there, come on in for the 7-3 round. Over to you. Okay, nothing heard from Robert. Let's start out with John here from our first try on the RF. And John, you can come on in if you'd like to. You can come in right now. Net control to VA3WM. If you're there, John, come on in.
VA3AZA from VA3WM. Well, Brian, net's coming along really good. You got a good group of people, and it's all fun. And to add to that fun, that YouTube simulcast is pretty cool. Later on I can play it back and listen to myself. So anyways, hope everybody's doing well, and everybody stay safe and stay well. VA3AZA and the net, VA3WM. Over.
VA3WM, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, John, good to hear from you as usual. And yeah, that's the YouTube simulcast is really, really neat. And I'm going back afterwards with all the comments too. Okay, that brings me to VE3GBC, and that is Bruce. Bruce was on RF last time, and let's see if he's still there. Net control to VE3GBC. Over to you, Bruce.
Thanks very much, Brian. Interesting listening to our friends from Australia and New Zealand. My wife and I had a trip planned down there actually this past February, like a few weeks ago, which unfortunately was canceled due to some virus that apparently is running around the world, so we couldn't go. We're hoping to make it down there within the next year or two, which would be great. And I'll have to check out some activities down there. Anyway, I'm happy to hear that this little radio, which is a good little Kenwood 702, that's at least 30 years old, but is still running just fine. And I think we're running about 2 watts here. I presume I'm getting into the repeater okay. I'm located near Dixie and Bloor here in Mississauga, just running a little quarter wave outside. So would appreciate signal quality and audio report. Brian, if you would please, VE3GBC.
VE3GBC, this is VA3AZA, and I'm actually on RF now. If you notice the difference in my signal quality here, but your signal is great for 2 watts. You're fine. You're full quieting and everything. It sounds really, really good. I hope I'm okay now. I seem to be okay according to the level meter here, but yeah, you sound fantastic. Sorry to hear about your trip though. The cancellation. That's kind of a nuisance and a little bit unpleasant. But I guess this is a necessary precaution. But we'll pass it back to you. Net control over to VE3GBC.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, just a touch of noise on your signal there, and you can't hear us. A slight difference in quality between, I guess you're on Echolink and RF. I'm curious, where is the repeater located?
On net control, returning VE3GBC. That's the repeater. The location is Huron, Ontario, approximately on Central Parkway. I don't know if you know where there's a Dominion there. Sorry, a Metro in the vicinity of the repeater station, and it's about 18 stories up. It's on a building there, and the antenna is about 18 stories off the ground. But yeah, 2 watts would definitely do it from your QTH. You'd definitely be able to reach it. And you sound good. You sound good. I might not be so great just because I've got a few obstructions between my HD, which I'm broadcasting on or transmitting on right now, between myself and the repeater. I'm close to it. I've got a few obstructions in the house here, but we'll pass it over to you. Net control to VE3GBC.
Great, Brian. Yeah, and I was actually being overly critical in that report. Otherwise, you sound great. And I'm also very curious with your call. I knew a Chuck VE3AZA up in Brampton some years ago. Is there any relation between you and Chuck, or is it just a total coincidence with the Victor Alpha call sign of AZA? VE3GBC, back to you.
VE3GBC, VA3AZA, and I just switched back to my Echolink headset here. No, there's no relation. I know that there are a couple of people. I think there's a silent key. I don't know whether there's a silent key who had VA3AZA. I've heard of VE3AZA, but no, I'm not. No connection as far as I know. But I've been asked a few times about that. And yeah, I guess it was the AZA pattern, beginning, end, beginning. That's at the AZA. I guess that was kind of an interesting little call sign. I'll pass it over to you, net control, to VE3GBC.
Great, Brian. Yeah, thanks. Well, it was Chuck Palmer was his name. He was quite a well-known fella up in Brampton and whatnot. As I recall, too, I think he held some kind of record for Morse code transmission. He could do 50 words a minute or so. It was quite a large, amazing number. Anyway, Chuck was quite well known, quite respected, and yes, unfortunately, he is a silent key passed away some years ago. I can't recall which. Anyway, thanks for the reports. Great net tonight. Appreciate it. I'll turn it back to you. VA3AZA, VE3GBC.
VE3GBC, VA3AZA net control returning. Okay, Bruce, well, we're glad you're able to make it into the net. And hopefully we'll hear from you in the future as well. Let's go down to VE3XBH. Brian, come on in for the 7-3 round. Over to you.
VA3AZA, VE3XBH. Not really much else to talk about, Brian. Good net tonight. Thanks for doing the net this evening, and Mark, thanks for the YouTube live stream. This is great. I really kind of enjoyed watching it and seeing some of the chat in the chat room. So all good. So thanks again for that, Mark. And Brian, thanks again. And I'll let you finish off. So just say 7-3 to everybody on the net, and hope everybody stays well. And we'll hopefully get the vaccines and everything into everybody as soon, and we can get back to something a little bit more normal. So 7-3 everyone, take care, and we'll be talking to you again. VA3AZA from VE3XBH.
VE3XBH, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, Brian, good to hear from you. Very good to hear from you this week, and we'll chat next week as well. Hopefully the vaccine situation will improve there. It seems to get a little clearer each day, not a very deal, but a little bit. So that's at least somewhat encouraging. Let's go down to Tyler, VA3TJV. Tyler, if you're still there, come on in. Over to you.
VA3TJV. Hope everybody has a good rest of the week. Stay warm, stay cool, whatever the weather's going to do. I think it's a bit of a roller coaster, and rock on. VA3TJV.
VA3TJV, VA3AZA net control returning. Okay, Tyler, good to hear from you. And we'll survive whatever is coming up. I guess the next couple of days will be easy to survive, but who knows, might have another downturn there in temperature. But good to talk to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week. I've got Jim here too on my list, VE3JIW. Jim, if you want to come on in, you can come right now. Net control to VE3JIW. Okay, looks like maybe Jim stepped away there. I can still see him on the list. We'll give him a call a little bit later on. Let's go to Kevin, VA3KKY. Kevin, come on in for the 7-3 round. Net control to VA3KKY.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, actually perfect timing, because I was thinking eventually shutting off the rig and trying to recapture some sleep. I slept earlier this evening, so we'll see if I can at least do that in a little while. And you guys have a good Tuesday. We'll catch you around in different places. So take care. And it would be nightmare to try to get in with 7-second delay on DMR. Some people said, wow, that'd be hard to try to chop through a net. You'd get walked on. So you'd have to get everyone else to cooperate. Otherwise, I don't know how you even get through a net with that. That would be nightmarish. So, anyways, take care, you guys. Back to you. We'll be listening. Probably eating away. VA3KKY. Back to that.
VA3KKY, VA3AZA net control returning. Okay, Kevin. Yeah, I guess it's good for one way. It's good for monitoring. Doing it both ways would be a bit of a challenge with a little bit of latency there. But it's fantastic, I guess, for people who want to hear it, and maybe they're not near a radio and kind of want to hear what it sounds like. So it'd be really, really good for. I think it'd be very, very good for that purpose. So that was really neat. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, Kevin, and hopefully we'll talk again next week. And let's see. I think we'll we'll go to Bill. I know I talked to John, VA3WM. We talked to John on Echolink earlier. I had him on the list twice here. So we'll go to VA3QWE, and that is Bill. Come on, Bill. Come on in, Bill. Over to you.
Hi, Brian. This is Bill. It's not Bill with a B, but Bill.
VA3QWE. I did get I heard you say, yeah, I had the name wrong. I'm sorry about that. I apologize for that. Your signal is a little bit scratchy into the repeater, and I know you're on an HP, so you're not quite holding it. So we didn't quite get everything there. I don't know if it's going to be any better, but I will correct the name myself. And Phil, I think it is. Yes, it is Phil. It is not Bill, it is Phil. So I looked you up and I kind of made that little correction. But thanks very much for joining us this evening. And come on in anytime. You can come on and join us. We're here every Tuesday, 8:30 to about 10 o'clock. And you're welcome to join us, Phil. We certainly have got you in here. Okay, let's see. Let's see if Kevin is there, VA3KDY. I don't know if Kevin usually isn't around for a second go, but let's see if he's there. Kevin, if you're there, come on in for a 7-3 round, and I control the VA3KDY. Okay, nothing heard from Kevin. Kevin might not be there. That's okay. Let's go down to VA3HES, and let's talk to Mark. Mark, thanks again for the YouTube, and we'll pass it over to you. Net control to VA3HES.
VA3AZA, VA3HES. Well, thank you for hosting the net again, Brian. It was a good night tonight, and I'm glad to see that people find the simulcast over YouTube pretty cool. As a kid, I loved nothing more. Here in Toronto, there was a television station by the name of City TV, and in the 1980s, they would broadcast a lot of concerts and simulcast the audio in stereo FM on Chum FM, and this kind of reminded me a little bit of that. The two little notes, those are who are curious to know what our antennas look like. At the end of the stream, I'll be throwing up our thanks for watching title card, and there's actually a picture of the antenna array at our repeater site. And if you're watching the YouTube video and you're looking at the waterfall on my radio, the signal you see to the left of the center signal, which is us, is actually the TWR repeater in downtown Toronto. Back to you, Brian.
VA3HES, the VA3 net control returning. Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, we'll be interested in seeing that, and you can put that on the channel as well. Yeah, and like I say, I don't know a great deal about managing YouTube channels or anything, so it's kind of an education for me too. I'm sure other people will be interested in seeing that. That's excellent. Okay, Mark, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next week, maybe before too, who knows. And let's go down to Peter, see if he's there. I don't know whether he said he'd be there, but VA3ELE. Peter, if you're there, come on in and join us for the 7-3 round here. Over to you. Okay, nothing heard from Peter. Let's see. Gary, I don't think he said he'd be here. I'm going to try him anyway. Sometimes he's here. He says he's not going to be here, and then he's here. So Gary, VA3GDZ, if you're there, come on in for the 7-3 round. Over to you. Okay, nothing heard from VA3GDZ, and let's try VK6BQQ. Reg, if you're there, come on in for a 7C round. I see you on the list there. Net control to VK6BQQ.
Yeah, VA3AZA in the group, VK6BQQ. Well, listening with intent, and we'll have to get on to that YouTube. I see the site is on there, so we'll check that out. Interesting to what people are doing. Absolutely fantastic. Brian, enjoyed. Thank you for being here, and thanks for having us. Back to net. VK6BQQ, Reg in Australia.
VK6BQQ, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, Reg, always a pleasure to speak with you. Nice to have you here. I'm glad you're able to join us, and hopefully we'll talk again, and you can join us again on Tuesday. Let's see. I just noticed in the comments here too, and there is a ham from Newfoundland, VO1ZKA. I see it there in the comments. I just noticed it. Every once in a while I look over here and try to sort through things. But hello, VO1ZKA, and if you want, I'll make a call for you. I got one more call sign here from Peter, and we'll make a call for you just after Peter. So let's go to VA2XMX. If you're there, come on in for our 7C round. Over to you. Okay, nothing heard, and we're going to try we'll try that call sign from Newfoundland. And VO1ZKA, if you're there and you want to come in for a 7C round, come on in. And net control to VO1ZKA.
VO1ZKA here. First time on Echo Link, and this is pretty interesting. All the way out here in Lewisport, Newfoundland, make a fist with your right hand, stick your thumb and little finger out. That's the Avalon Peninsula, the Northern Peninsula. I'm the middle finger, right at the top knuckle. Northern Central Newfoundland. Lots of snow. It's been a fun winter so far, and we're still going to get lots more snow. I'm from the southwestern Ontario region down in Windsor, and I just wanted to join and see what was happening tonight on this net. Back to control. VO1 Zulu Kilo Alpha, formerly Victor Echo 3 Zulu Kilo Alpha.
VO1ZKA, VA3AZA, net control returning. Okay, and I think so first name is Tyson, I believe. Well, welcome to our net. We're glad you found us. And yeah, interesting, you're from the Windsor area. I'm actually from Chatham, so I'm just down the road from you, about 45 minutes down the road from you when you were living in southwestern Ontario. And yeah, you got a little bit of that Atlantic winter holding on there, and that's okay. That's a little different from the kind of winters we get here, but sometimes a little more intense too, with all that energy coming off the Atlantic Ocean. And icebergs too, if I recall. Oh yeah, but that's not, I guess that's a little later in the season. They start coming down the East Coast. Anyway, good to hear from you. And anything else you wanted to add? We're kind of at the end of our net. We usually run 2 rounds, but I'll give you one more chance if there's anything else you want to say. Net control to VO1ZKA.
VO1ZKA. Thanks again. Yeah, the icebergs usually start around June and go through to the end of August at best. That's also the whaling season. Well, not whaling, the season when you can see whales, as well as our winters last quite a bit longer than southwestern Ontario. June 22nd, 2 years ago, I was up by Quillen Gate with a friend from back home, and we were trudging through 8 inches of snow, and that's on, again, June 22nd. Anyway, thanks again for having this, and thanks for having me on. Returning control, VO1 ZKA.
VO1 ZKA, VA3AZA, net control returning. And okay, Dyson, it was a pleasure to have you on the net tonight. And I think we're gonna close it up now. We're probably gonna get disconnected automatically. The RF is gonna be disconnected from the Aqualink automatically in a few minutes. We'll just warn you about that. But we're kind of at the end. We've hit the end of our 7-3 round. And thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you have any comments, thoughts, or suggestions, you can contact us via email at VE3MIS@RAC.ca. That's Victor Echo 3 India Sierra at Romeo Alpha Charlie Charlie Alpha. This is Victor Alpha 3 Alpha Zulu Alpha Brian, closing the net and returning the repeater to general use. It should disconnect very shortly from the Echolink conference. Thank you.
VECHLINK conference disconnected.